Hello, and welcome to Tabletalkers, Band of Iron.
Stop.
Last you left our heroes, who wants to tell me what happened?
I'm eating Cheerios.
That's not what he meant, you dipshits.
Would you like to take it then, given that this is the first opportunity for you to do so?
I don't fucking remember.
What do you think happened? You what?
Go ahead, I think he wants you to do it.
That's fine.
Okay.
Can't
We
remember.
were in the life spire, doing our thing. Made it to a certain area. That area then basically got flooded with the ick. People were running away from the ick. We decided to save as many people as we could. Get the fuck out with said saving of people. And whilst saving those people, ended up with a new party member.
Yeah, you
And are
right.
now out of the spire of life.
For now.
Why is it that I can remember this shit when we're not playing, and then
I know.
immediately upon starting the campaign, I don't fucking remember?
Because I'm pointing a
Gotta be
camera at
honest.
you and it's very scary.
Camera.
Gonna be honest, I don't think we need to go back to a life spire. I don't think it's gonna give us anything we need.
But you can, though. And then you guys headed to a nearby tavern where you had sent the other adventuring party that you guys either beat the fuck out of or just were like, yo, hey, we'll pay you. And they went,
We didn't get to that part yet.
okay. Now you got there. You're at that spot. You are at the tavern. The only reason you didn't, like, do specific things was because you wanted a shorter session, and it was already quite late. And then the week after that, we played golf. So, let's get down to business.
Woo, golf. Good use of our time.
No.
You guys are in a tavern. You have the other adventurer dudes. Whoever got into contact with the ship said that they were a few days away. They got distracted.
How would they
I
put
think
this
I
into
got in
drawings?
contact with a ship.
Lots of bold character, like, block letters.
Diablo, what the
And
fuck?
if you specifically want drawings, then you have a picture of a bunch of happy orcs on a boat and flying away from big tall thing.
Easter
What the fuck are they doing? What the fuck are they doing? What are they flying away? What? Hold on. Big tall thing.
It looks a lot like the
What?
spire.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Goddamn orcs.
I'm disappointed in you, James.
Any idea if it's our spire or a different spire?
The details aren't that clear. You are, however, reasonably certain that they haven't jaunted into the Sea of Stars. Because after what happened with the guy on the squid ship, they're kind of afraid.
Also, we kind of got attacked by space crabs as well.
That too, but it's less that and more. Oh.
Space crabs
Chip.
were cute.
I can't spell.
So if you guys would like to have any further conversations with each other, get to really know your new party member, anything, now is the
Yeah,
time
throw
to
me
do it.
under the bus, motherfucker, while I have food in my mouth.
Well, there's you, there's also the other guys that they sent here that have just been living on their dime for about a day now. There's
Well,
also still the spire
other
itself
guys
and everything else. There's still few
Are
can do.
not gonna want to talk to me.
Yeah, you're kind of
I
the
don't
meanie.
want to talk to you.
The other guys are not gonna want to talk to me. So I'm gonna paint Mephisto. Medina is baby mad.
Maybe
Take that
always
as a
mad.
yes.
It is a small being of poop and rage, often at the same time.
And hunger. I was asking you if baby was mad, because the other party that we hired,
Jesus.
and then
Jesus.
I can't stop it.
Control yourself.
And the individual that we recruited, or you recruited, or whatever you want to call it, she's kind of like right there staring at us awkwardly. It's weird.
And you guys are kind of in a
want to
rush
pick one to talk
last
to?
session, so I
Wait,
don't
oh,
know
we
if I'm
started?
gonna- Whatever.
Yeah. What do you mean?
He was probably distracted.
My headphones are off, and yeah.
Sorry about that. I didn't know.
No, you're fine.
Good.
One, the other party's not going to want to talk to me, and I don't know her well enough right now.
I don't want to talk to you either.
Quick whatever, since your headphones were off. You're back in you're at the tavern where you sent the other adventuring party. They're there, so is the new party member you guys have. And there's been a message from the orcs that are actually on your sky ship saying that they'll be back in a couple days. They got distracted.
One second.
Feel the need to send them a message back, asking if they blew anything up.
Explosions are hard when there isn't
A catalyst?
people with magic or explodey things common.
Yeah,
And
catalyst.
these guys are orcs. So
They're not orcs with a C, they're orcs with orcs with a K, they're orcs with a C.
More likely to have broken something than to have blown something up. It's not
Or
really
what
blow
is
up,
blowing
it's what
something up, save breaking it with extreme prejudice?
It requires explosives, like fireballs, and things they don't have access to. They can hit things with, like, hammers.
I am well aware. But breaking things is the same either way.
It's not blowing it up.
Breaking things is breaking things. Shut up.
I'm going to inform them she's gonna be coming with us because of her personal quest. I'm gonna have them. I guess we can. Hello, what are you doing? I'm gonna inform them that when the ship gets back, what was I gonna do? It's just crawling on me now.
Sudden pressure and a baby.
Because I lost my train of thought. Fuck.
I think you were talking about the adventuring party.
Yeah, I forgot what I was having them plan to do. I know I thought of something, but I forgot.
Something about going back home. From what I remember.
Oh yeah, about the war coming, right?
I guess. I don't remember.
I needed
Hello.
them to rally more troops, I believe. It's either that, or I was gonna have some of them go back to the camp so we can train. You just bump your head. Yeah, I think it was the guy that go back to their homelands and try to gather more troops for the oncoming war.
Okay, so you're going to try to get them to go act as recruiters.
Yeah. Since orcs wouldn't do too well.
Whenever you go to bring that up, you have a couple of them that are like, yeah, sure, whatever, but most of them are like, they're not exactly people per se. And I don't think that that's a very good idea.
Gotcha. For the ones that can, and they can. For the ones that can and could do it, they can. they're more than welcome to go do that. And for the others, depending on what they can do, we could have them go back, train our troops back at the stronghold.
Or.
Mhm.
Don't take offense to this, but how attached to you are you? How attached are you to raiding ancient tombs?
Me?
Yes.
Isn't that what we're doing right now?
No.
No.
We're raiding a spire of a god. That's totally different.
But there's a bunch of bodies in there, so it's kind of a tomb.
Bodies that are relatively fresh. Some of them.
Questionable. Whose tomb are we raiding? And where did this come from?
All of them. Anywhere and everywhere. I say those that can't speak to people should be our little magic item gatherers. To arm people. Those that can speak to people, hire them. Or recruit them, or whatever you want to call it. Those that can't speak to people and are better at the fighting aspect of things, go and fight in tombs and dungeons and whatnot have you, that aren't fucking spire-like. Because obviously they can't handle it. And gather all sorts of magical accoutrements to better themselves and those around them. We will need plenty of magical gear.
Yeah.
Motherfucking
You're right.
piece of shit.
You're right.
Training our troops is one thing. Giving them a whole bunch of magical accoutrements that will just make them better is another. Training takes time, and I don't think we have it.
I believe you're right.
One of them will pipe up. So it sounds like you're talking about basically the same thing we'd be doing with any adventuring guild then. Do I have it right?
Pretty much, just if you come
Under the
across
banner of a
any
lord instead of a guild.
If that were the case, could we go by wherever it was that you call your own base and get ourselves more better prepared and equipped before we head out and deal with more dungeon shit?
Of course.
Anyway.
Vashnir,
Mm-hmm.
are we done inspiring the masses? If we are, I would like to speak with you in private.
I believe so.
Jodak, you as well, please. Somebody is listening to Arik's stream, and I hurt myself.
We're not gonna talk about it, it's fine.
Okay.
I don't know why these headphones.
Whenever we're
picked
done
up.
giving our orders, or whatever you want to call them, requests to the common adventurer.
Yeah, I think we're good. Just take the items, don't destroy the fucking
Excuse me.
graves. Tombs.
But what if there's a really cool axe in somebody's well-preserved coffin?
Try not to destroy everything in there, please.
I mean,
We're
that many
borrowing
times
it
with
enough
the
that the
last
war will
time.
put them back.
You know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna bring that up.
Bring what up? Now I'm curious.
I mean, it's not like we haven't gone tomb raiding before.
My computer doesn't like your
I can
stream
name at
'cause it
least
keeps
2 instances
buffering.
in which we have.
No, our internet doesn't like Twitch. That's what it is. It's not. It has nothing to do with the computer.
Yeah.
So whenever you're ready, I'll be nondescript location that's more private than where we are.
In a
Eric, you
corner,
figure that
in your
out.
room, in an alley outside, in the woods nearby.
That's a closet.
Something that's private where I can put down a tiny hut and don't allow sound out.
Oh, like in your head?
No, because even in your head you can be listened in on. I can make the dome
That's
opaque
true.
so we can't be seen, and I can make it to where sound can't go out, so we can't be heard. So. But anyway. An area big enough for the dome. So probably outside in the woods somewhere. I'll give them a location. I don't. My brain ain't working right now.
Just for what it's worth, the dome isn't like you can hear things. It's not soundproof.
I know, but you can make it. You have total choice over what
Not
you have. What?
really.
Not really? Okay, never mind. That's fine. Somewhere quiet, somewhere peaceful, somewhere private.
It stops spells
You
from
get the
coming in.
point.
I got you.
Yeah. Oh.
Probably in a nearby alley if you want to go for the whole, like, keep people the fuck away from this.
Yeah. Because this is secretive stuff that if I find somebody snooping, I might stab them in the throat. Like this is that secretive.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if you haven't guessed it, you're not yet, love. I'm not a good person in this game.
We need to go murder somebody?
Fucking
Some-
notice. That's going to be
actually,
an issue.
probably. But anyway, that's not in character.
That is gonna
I'm
be
just
a
waiting for my
big
turn.
problem.
Let them do what they're gonna do.
Well, Vashnir, Jodak, anything else you have to do, or is it time to follow Tadori?
Time to go meet.
Anybody else doing anything else while they're doing this?
I think I'm just gonna pretty much follow around just a little bit, just to figure out what the fuck these guys are doing, like why I should stay or shit.
Are you going to follow them after it became obvious that they want to have a private conversation?
No, I'm just talking about like in general.
Just be in the bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Assume you've been fed and have a drink.
You
I
can
mean, throw our
assume
name
that.
around enough, you'll hear what we've done. I'm sure there's plenty of people that know the story of the band.
But sure, Tadora, you find yourself somewhere you think is relatively secluded and get yourself a dome set up.
Wow.
Actually, I think hidden back here like this, a dome would be more conspicuous.
Well, it's gonna be
Especially now that I know that it can't have sound. You know what I mean? Since I know that I can't have sound not go out with the dome, it would be more conspicuous to have the dome there. because it's a big ass opaque thing, and
Yeah,
anybody can just sit near it and listen in, and I wouldn't be able to see them. Well, actually, no, I would be able to see them.
Correct. You can always see outside.
Ooh, that's actually pretty good. One-way glass. Yeah, I'll put the dome up. Yeah.
My ability to sense intelligent creatures work through the dome's walls.
Probably.
More than likely, yeah. There's nothing that says it can't. Because you can see out, just can't see in. And only obviously only Jodak and Vashnir are allowed in the dome. Sorry, Peon.
I understand. You're good.
Oh, he doesn't. He's lying to you.
Yeah, there's nothing else.
Bill it. Don't pull on that.
Okay, then let's say that.
Whenever he's not being attacked by baby.
Yeah. Let's say that you three are in this domed area.
Right.
So I know you say I'm
First and foremost.
suspicious a lot of the time, but this is very suspicious. I just gotta say.
Turns
Listen.
on the ominous music.
I like how we're doing things so far. But I don't think the people we're gathering around us are going to like what we have to do next. And I wanted to say that first and foremost. On that subject, we need to talk about what we do next. My personal opinion is we make Vashnir's father or Vashnir himself king. And deal with whatever consequences that may bring about. Because this stuff of tiptoeing around, trying not to piss the royalty off of some fabled dwarven nonsense is, well, nonsense, might I add. Am I wrong?
Making sense, yeah.
You will have a whole lot more pull if it's coming from a sign of royalty instead of a sign of a lowborn noble turned highborn through conquest. See what I mean?
I do, but I had no desire for the throne, especially with my
Give it to your
brothers
father.
who. I'd have to speak with him.
He's not going to have any desire for it, but he needs to accept it.
Or if not him, maybe one of my brothers.
Well, don't think me crass, but can you really trust them?
Yeah, with my life.
So be it.
Yep. Pulling on my headgear.
The culprit
Now.
speaks.
Now, Jodak. How do I put this? How much can we trust and depend on your allies? And let's not play games. Simple, sweet, concise answers, please.
Type of thing I don't typically do. And you know that.
I understand.
Should have put down his own truth.
It depends on what you mean by
I can't do
depend
that.
Fuck.
Are they more of a capricious bunch?
Addie does not know what that word means off the top.
Arik, help. I know how to use it, but I don't know the definition off the top of my head.
I'm just gonna watch y'all squirm.
You're an ass.
I'll just use Google.
As you should.
Google's free, motherfucker.
Oh,
Internet's not.
This is true.
Yeah.
Sudden and unaccountable changes in mood and behavior.
that defines them pretty well, I would say.
So
If it's not
dependable
order
is not
given
one of
by
their-
oh, it depends on who's giving the order. If it's the guy in charge, then yeah.
Who
everyone's
is the
gonna follow
guy
it.
in charge? Because I don't think that it's Callahan.
For the most part, he kind of is.
I don't like that kinda.
All that it matters, he is.
For everything it matters.
The only other
So
person
who's
who
his boss?
His boss is a baby.
I'm not making that joke, Brain. You can fuck off.
I will bring in Alec Baldwin if I have to.
I think he's busy in court right now.
He laughed so hard he cut
He got
out.
off. No, they acquitted him. It's over with, from what I understand.
Let's not go there.
And James laughed so hard he cut out. His microphone didn't pick him up.
What do you mean by baby?
As in, he lacks the intellectual capacity to actually be a leader or take command.
Of an adult, you mean?
Oh,
Not there.
I know.
get out of my head.
Hello.
All intents and purposes, Callahan is our quote-unquote leader.
Okay.
Gives orders, people follow them.
Do you have any sway with Callahan? Any pull?
I can give suggestions. I can ask
Not
him
what
for
I meant.
stuff.
Also not what I meant.
If something seems beneficial to him, he could most likely go with it.
Do you think you could persuade him into investing his time in what we are currently dealing with? Or at least investing his resources?
Perhaps.
Right. On a more serious note, how do we feel about the Emperor?
Emperor of
You
Attica?
mean the big scary guy that like one-shot me?
The answer to both of those questions is yes, because I don't think there's an Emperor anywhere else, first of all, and second of all, yes.
That is currently the only
I feel
empire
like
on
he'd
the
make a better ally than enemy.
Better ally than enemy, understood.
Not the one I want to go against, if at all possible. For
That's
multiple reasons,
also
honestly.
understood. But I mean, how do we feel about him? Like, what do we feel his motives are? Why is he the way he is? And under our guys, I know we have very limited knowledge on him as a person, but what do we think? How do we feel about the situation at hand when it concerns him? Or for what concerns him?
He most probably will do whatever best benefits his country. You know, like an emperor would.
Or a king should, I should say.
Yes. I feel like
Unlike current royalty.
Did say he
Exactly.
used to be a fighter, so he's probably just looking for a reason to pick up his sword again. Back at the latter term. I don't even know if he uses a sword.
He does.
Sure,
He
hit me with
uses that
something.
rapier. He uses that rapier like his son.
He has a son.
Pretty sure Callahan. Too much family tension there. Way too much familial tension.
I mean, yeah, I see it too, but they haven't exactly confirmed it.
No, they're
I'm
not
afraid
going
to
to.
ask.
But Callahan is trying to prove himself to that individual. Typically, that's the son-like behavior. Typically, yes, I know, but still, point stands.
Callahan's like really old. I think.
Yeah, and we don't have any clue how old the frickin' Emperor could be. He's an Emperor, for fuck's sake. He has unlimited resources at his disposal. Is the reason Attica is scientifically advanced. As much as they are. For Christ's sake. I mean...
Assume he still has a normal human lifespan, though, right?
Under the assumption, yes, he should, but there's no way for us to know that.
Good point. Good point.
Just, like I said, under standard procedure, Callahan had something to prove. That was proven, and concrete evidence of that was him saying, I'll get you at least one of these times after their fight. Or I'll win at least once, or whatever he exactly said. See what I mean?
Just be old war buddies or something.
I don't see that. You know what I mean? I don't see it. But aside from that, I agree for the most part. I'd rather have him as a friend than an enemy. He is the only individual that was capable of bringing together an empire.
Excuse me.
So, as it stands, best to keep him as a friend. I had every intention to do that. I just wanted to know what our current stance on his motives at the end of the day. Because he could just as easily flip and turn on us as we could him.
Fuck that guy.
I feel he has a code of honor.
And that could be a role he plays. You see what I mean? We don't know. That's my biggest fear when it comes to the Emperor. We know next to nothing about him.
Did you not hear him?
I heard him. He may have a code of honor. He may be an extremely honorable individual. But we don't know. Everything with him is a maybe, what if, could be. But I don't know.
Isn't that the same with everyone, though?
Not really. Elves can be pretty pinpoint. They're old, mopey, and will more than likely stand behind current events than they will rise to new events, or stand behind old rules than rise to new ones. Hags are hags. There's nothing that needs to be said about that. Gnomes are gnomes. They're led by money, easily. Money, power, fame, fortune, all those things. And no, fortune and money are not the same thing. Dwarves are pretty cut and dry to a large degree as far as I have seen. battle, honor, and duty, all that kind of thing. But the royalty there is not acting in the manner of which they should, as far as I've noticed, based on dwarven culture. But at the same time, they could have been being fed falsified information. But aside from that, and also orcs are orcs. That's super easy, super easy to understand.
If whenever he mentioned hags, I could have done a distant high cackle, I would have. And now that he's mentioned orcs, if I could do a low, distant chuckle, I would.
So,
Unfortunate.
fact remains, most of the things that are around us we can understand to a degree, because they're led by very noticeable motive. We don't know truly what the motive the Emperor has is, save realistically the betterment and fervor he has in protecting his own, his people, expansion of his empire into whatever realm may be had. You see what I mean? It's challenging, to say the least, in that regard, but I think I've gotten my answer on that. It's more than fine. Question, out of character for a second.
Hello.
Are we still carting around, fucking Valen?
Ow.
Okay, thank you.
No.
I didn't remember. Right. I kind of just dropped it on your plate, but how do y'all feel? Like, what are your thoughts on my plan to take over the Gnome Kingdom?
I thought we've talked
What have
about
I
this
gotten
before.
myself into?
Mess.
Did
The
we?
Gnome Kingdom or Dwarf Kingdom?
Dwarf Kingdom we've talked about. I know we have.
Okay, that's what
I'm
got
talking
mixed up.
about gnomes. Because when we were with Phil, I just kind of went, hey, this is the plan, and everybody just kind of silently agreed. I wanted to know what your thoughts on it were. You are all a pivotal part of my plan.
I just feel like we needed to gain our allies before we
That's why I said you become king first, because then you'll have the whole Dwarven host at your advantage.
In that case, wouldn't it be better to take over Raktash first? Or at least grow our warband?
No, it would not. Grow the warband, yes. Take over Raktesh is more difficult than the dwarves. That would
How so?
require us going to each and every single solitary war boss there is out there, of which there are more than likely several, and challenging them to 1v1 you, bro. And we saw how that happened, how well that worked out last time. And they weren't even the strongest warband.
And since then, we've gotten much stronger. Plus,
Yes, I'm not saying we couldn't handle it like it were nothing. What I'm saying is, it would take more time than 1v1ing the king and taking his position. See what I mean?
not necessarily. Because going for the king would take more politics. We're talking.
I
We're
think you're
signing
put-
documents and all that.
I think you're putting more gnomish tactics into dwarven law. I think
Oh, that would
I
be
think
really
right by
hard,
I think right by conquest in dwarven law would work out very well in his favor. But that's just me. But I do see your point.
Also,
I just
he
think
did
it would
say a
take
word about that one war boss going around collecting, or what's word?
conquesting all the other war bosses. Yeah.
Yes, that.
Yeah. No,
Probably would be
they're
better to deal with them before they get too big to, deal with.
I mean, if they got too big to deal with, there's always humans that will get tired of them eventually. But we're not looking for that. You know what I mean? The problem persists if we. The only real problem I see is if we bring in dwarves conquesting to gnomes, right? That's against whatever freaking treaties the elves made, whatever, how long ago. The council will fight against that, from what I understand of this world's politics. From what I've learned thus far. Neither of you have answered my question still yet, though.
Sorry, dude. But
Like I said, I kind of just plopped it into your lap. So what are your thoughts on it now? That you've had time to think about it anyway.
our goals are, well, pretty much the same. Anyway, as I've said before about trying to unite all the nations under one front till the war's over, at least. At least trying to. It would be easier with a little more pull and weight.
Your name means something, but it mostly means something because of your leadership of the Band of Iron. At current, anyway. Your name will mean a whole lot more if you are Crown Prince. You know what I mean? Whether you are or aren't going to be Crown Prince is not the point.
The baby will get involved in politics if you don't.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that right now.
Have things to say.
Well, I mean, she's making some very good points, so it's all good.
Oh, she is pointing at me.
I kind of figured.
There's nothing working.
She's so close.
I still want to be first, I still want to try to be as diplomatic as possible, because as soon as we start unifying force, yes,
Yeah.
everyone's gonna turn. My plan is to speak with the nations. That's why I have them being sent out and trying to.
Yeah, that's right. You did send out the missive to meet with the council or whatever, right?
I believe so.
Like, yeah, you put out a thing of like, hey, we need to have a meeting or whatever.
I did. Right?
Pretty sure.
I've heard a lot of potential talk. I don't know what actually happened anymore.
I'm pretty sure we sent off a thing of, hey, we know this is coming. We need to talk about this. I just think they kind of ignored it, or we thought they would kind of ignore it because he's not, like, in a position of power.
I feel like since there wasn't a big whatever of that before you guys left Diakov, that was one of the things that was talked about, and then it didn't actually
Oh,
happen.
yeah, it hasn't
Because
happened
otherwise,
yet.
you guys would have had a larger scene there.
Yeah, it's not happened yet. Fuck.
I think the closest thing you have was whenever you guys were in the medical tent after your guys' festival, and a lot of the leaders were already in the place, so they talked.
Yeah.
Or leaders
Well-
and a hag.
Well, she's a leader in her own right.
She...
Yes.
Okay,
I have no doubt you could take out everyone in that room without even trying.
In more than one way, yes, absolutely.
Turn the tent into a chicken.
Yes.
Okay. That is
I think
excellent.
plan of action now. I think we ignore the life spire. As much as I thought we could get something out of it, and still kind of do think we could get something useful out of it, I think plan of action now is ignore the life spire for bigger fish. You know what I mean?
One of you has a cool orb.
We do have a cool orb, and we do need to turn this into a mech suit. I think that was the plan.
A meat suit, you said?
Mech
Sounds good to
suit,
me.
not meat suit.
So
You're
you're
not turning it
stuffing
into
your
a meat
weapon.
suit. You're not getting this orb. It is being used for the betterment of all of us.
I thought there was going to be strapping it to a weapon on the ship.
Do that.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were going to make it part of the main gun. You're right. I remember now.
Back to in character. Fwap.
Anyway,
Well,
plan of action. Vashnir or Entourage become king. After that, do we really venture to the Hells, especially with our new party member? She's not gonna like it there. More than likely.
I don't see her jumping right into that. Maybe if we helped her first, where we gain each other's trust.
Yeah, we
Or at
do
least
have that
mutual understanding.
stigma of being devil worshippers, don't we? Ugh.
Yes. Apparently we
Damn
did.
it. I want to know who started that fucking rumor. I want to stab them in the eye.
In time, maybe we'll find out.
Soon as
You
I
already know who it is.
want you
Just
to
need to
understand
find
this.
them.
As soon as I find out who started that rumor, I'm stabbing them in the eye. I just want you to know that.
Do you not meet Ragnar?
No! Well, who the fuck is Ragnar?
Now you travel.
Wait, is that the dwarf that I've kind of forgot? That was kind of
I think it's
around
the
for
dwarf
like...
that you probably forgot.
Oh.
You kind of separated from
I
us
didn't-
soon after you joined us.
Yeah, I was about to say, didn't I kind of meet him for like all of 2 seconds?
Yeah.
And then he broke off with a different group? That was also our group, but not our group because they weren't the band. Your politics between your party members are weird. Anyway, was that the person that started all of this?
That's what they said it was.
I can't
Alright,
stab
let's
them in
do
the
the,
eye, can I?
If you want to, go ahead.
Really? Ooh.
He was a hired mercenary.
I'm being given permission to do something. I'll worry about it later. Anyway. So first on the docket, Bastion become king, or close enough to it.
And then with that pool, maybe I can have a meeting with the other.
Create a meeting, and second after that is meeting with the council.
And saying who would ally and who would need persuasion.
The problem... I love how you say need persuasion as if they're going to get persuaded. The problem with that is, what do you do if the gnomes ally with you? When I want to take over the gnomes.
For how long is the takeover going to be?
My takeover of the gnomes? Permanent. I don't like how they do things. I think I could do it a whole lot better.
We're a capitalistic society.
You invested in money, not invested in people.
Well, they're the same way, are they not?
What? I was saying the gnomes were too invested in money, not invested enough in people.
Oh, I thought you...
I am the opposite.
No, I was saying that. Aren't they that way?
Yes, they are that way.
As long as their pockets are lined gold, the equivalent.
That people can suffer and die and go through all misfortune in life, as far as I've noticed.
But if we can line their pockets still, and give their people purpose, to where they're no longer starving.
But you can also do that without giving them money. Because I don't think there's enough money to give them in this world. I think they control the majority of what is money. So...
show them what it is to actually live. With purpose and not by greed.
I think uprooting an entire culture of people is a lot more difficult than just taking them over.
Ooh. You okay? She bumped her.
Oh no.
She stood up too quick. She bumped her head.
Oh no.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Stay strong, baby.
You good? It's okay. See, look at that. You got all day after all, don't you?
Right.
She's fine. I don't think she even felt it. We read out everybody that's next in line for that so-called position of power that they have.
So you're telling me that I shouldn't try to take them over?
No, I'm not saying that. We have to find the ones that are next in line that would just take his place, remove them from power. That'll be part of the agreement.
Oh yeah, no, that was the plan with Phil.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we set forth instead of killing him.
Mm-hmm.
Which I kind of feel bad about that with Valen, because that was kind of the whole point of us being there. But, you know, sticks and stones.
Yes.
That's where Valen went. He's a therapy hack about that.
Oh, yeah. He needs to vent, man. He really just needs to vent. He hasn't been able to vent to anybody. Jodak, you haven't been speaking this entire time.
I mean, am I supposed to comment on your plans of taking over a country?
You
Or
can.
planning on taking over 2 others,
What 2 others?
potentially?
Besides dwarves.
Dice Dwarf, Frektesh.
No.
I feel like there's a possibility there.
Well,
Yeah, but I don't think
it's-
I don't think Raktesh is gonna be a takeover. I think it's gonna be a we are the war boss for all of however long we need them, and then they just kind of go, oh, we're done now, bye bye. More orcs is good. Don't get me wrong, but more orcs also means more people that go, I'm bored of this. I want to raid and conquest, and I have cool things now. Bye. I'm gonna go raid and conquest. You know what I mean? Because we already have a problem with our orcs wanting to go out and pillage. I mean, for Christ's sake, when we left, they went to try and come after us and pillage. And got stuck somewhere. You see what I mean? So... Oh, your orb of knowing everything. Can you ask it a question for me?
I kind of forgot I had that for a minute.
I once again don't remember if it talks. I think it does.
It does.
Last time it
does.
talked.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
good.
a little robotic. It's a robotic-y voice.
What question would you like to ask?
Can the human empire defeat the elven one?
I will ask such a question.
Exactly as he said it. Question mark, yes.
Exactly as he said it.
There is no
I
elven
like your
empire. It's going to
point.
be the answer.
Part 1, he is correct. The other part is in instances of conflict in the past. Bellanue and the region now known as Attica have come into conflict, and Bellanue has standardly come out victorious.
Who was the leader of Attica at that time?
The leader of the forces in the region currently known as Attica at the time of the last Human-Elven War was, and it says an oldie name. Not one that you recognize.
Not who it is now, and it also is saying past tense, as in long, 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 long time ago. There's no way of knowing, or no way for this thing to know current events.
Would you like
Or
to know
current
which of,
military
if
standing.
any, the Elven Chancellors used to be ruling at the time, and are still ruling at this time, from the
90%
previous
of them.
conflict?
Is the answer 90% of them?
Most of the Chancellors from the previous conflict are still in their seats. There have been 5 new replacements. Would you like their names?
Sure.
It
Yeah.
gives 5 names.
Okay, cool. I was about to write down 5 names. I didn't want to.
Right. I get it. You know more than I'm giving you credit for. Huh. Can I ask it questions, or do you know, Jodek?
I mean, you could ask any questions you want to ask. If he doesn't answer, I can just ask it. Ask it again. Just relay your question. So, ask away.
Do you have a current power standing on Attica and Bellinue?
Doesn't
It's not
glow.
answering me. Yeah, it's not answering me. I'm not holding it. Fuck! Do you have to attune to that thing?
Now, I'll relay the
I-
question.
Yeah, I have to be holding it to ask a question.
Exactly as he said it,
Yeah.
which was
Do you know the
you
current
have a-
power standing?
That.
Or power... Do you know the current power ranking of Attica and Bellinue?
the Attican Empire is known as the peacekeeping force of the coalition. As such, it can be assumed that their amount of military strength is greater than any of other individual power.
And Bellinue's?
Question relayed.
Bellinue is commonly referred to as the peacekeepers, whereas they do not have a standing army. Their agents ensure that other standing armies do not come into conflict, at least since the development of the coalition.
Sneaky fucking elves! Damn it. Don't harlequin my ass, Eric. Don't fucking do that. I will be mad.
I've done nothing. Don't yell at me. I'm but a simple clown.
Fuck you! There are only 2 people in this server that will understand what Harlequin is. It's fine. First off, Rose, I heard you start to talk in the other room. You're muted.
Who may that be?
Not Thaddeus. Medina, myself, and maybe Eric.
I know what a Harley Quinn is. The fuck?
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Not in the context of what I'm talking about.
Alright, whatever.
Gonna sit here and keep spinning this pen. Been doing that the entire time. I haven't dropped it yet.
Hey, that, Jodek, let me have it. I'll give it back, I promise. And he reaches out his hands to take it.
Yes.
Easier if you don't have to relay it and I can just ask.
Okay.
I'll give it back, I swear. You know I'm a man of my word. Give.
Don't drop it or shake
I
it.
don't plan on it.
Do not
Let me
shake
go for the
me.
magic 8-ball.
I wasn't planning on it, but now I kind of want to. What do you know about brains with legs?
Define legs.
Really?
Walk around on 2 feet, like 2 legs. What do you
Searching.
mean define?
Do you mean a standard humanoid or a brain with bipedalism?
A brain with bipedalism.
Such a creature is not known to me. Perhaps if you could compile more information into my database, I might know it.
You know that guy that's been touching you for a while? That's a brain with legs.
You're gonna mess. No.
Confirm information. The individual known as Jodak Serival is a brain with 2 legs.
Stop. A quadrupedal, not bipedal.
4 legs, not 2.
Query. Do you mean that the individual known as Jodak Serival is an intellect devourer?
Yeah.
Much information is known on intellect devourers.
Oh. What do we got?
Why are you asking these questions?
I want to know what I'm up against if it comes to that.
They
Please be
probably
specific
won't
in
fight
your
you.
queries.
Much information is known about intellect devourers. Are most of them... Would you classify yourself as sentient? Don't answer that. How do I put this?
Would I classify myself as sentient?
Ask yourself this question, why don't you?
What's the word for alone? Or like someone who is capable of being alone and not a part of something? Like the illithid cannot be solitary. They nearly literally can't be.
Are they social creatures? Type thing?
No. There's a technical term for...
Isolated? Question mark?
Okay. Aaron, do I know that the illithid are part of a hive mind? As Tadori.
To be frank, with the area that you came from, you probably don't know a lot about them.
Cool.
Because of the places that they would have boogeyman stories, the Hells? Not exactly a fertile hunting ground.
Yeah, we have boogeyman stories about...
He has free will.
Yes! Thank you. Appreciate that. And also, all of our boogeyman stories are about the Abyss, because that's the one that's right next door to us. Anyway, are most intellect devourers capable of free will?
Is your
As
question.
the individual known as Jodak is. Yes, that is my question.
Your addition to the question would further confuse our database.
Well, the individual known as Jodak is capable of free will. I want to know if if most other intellect devourers are also capable of free will.
Information on intellect devourers. Standardly created through a process known only to the illithid, then connected to the hive mind, and set about to do tasks.
What the fuck is an illithid?
Illithid, colloquially known as mind flayer, squid people, and scary bastards.
Oh, those things. I remember. But the illithid capable of free will?
Illithid, race, standardly set up in a hive mind / social structure. Every now and then, though, an individual branches out and does their own shit, as it were, often resulting in the creation of a new hive mind.
But it's mostly controlled by a hive mind. Hey, do you have somebody... Never mind, don't answer that. Grumbly tummy. Apparently that wasn't enough of a donut. I need to DoorDash you food. I'll do it.
Continue your interrogation of the little shiny orb.
Can you
I
please
wish we
stop
could
asking
DoorDash
questions to the
you.
little tiny orb?
Well, I
These
was
are oddly
done
personal
on that
questions
line
I
of
don't wish to
questioning.
know the answers to.
Well, now I want to ask more questions along those lines of questioning. What do you mean?
You're gonna
Would you like it if I asked a ton of questions about the hells and demons and whatever tieflings and stuff like that?
I would give you those answers willingly. So yeah, I don't care.
I don't want to ask those questions. I don't know why you would.
Friends are nice, but in my experience, they don't last very long. So you always want to know what the hell you're dealing with, just in case you have to deal with it. Know your friend better than you know your own enemy.
They're not going to be a problem.
I agree. I really do. I just wanted to know what they were. That's it. Who controls the hive mind?
A hive mind is standardly controlled by an elder brain.
What's an elder brain?
An elder brain is the state in which an illithid becomes after undertaking certain magical rituals to transform it from its previous form of being.
Now I actually have to demand that you stop.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. But why, though?
Normally, in order to achieve the status known as
Shush. Not you.
ceasing information.
Thank you.
Stop scrolling.
Jodak. Why? You can just say you're under orders.
I'm just going to say I'm under orders. There's some
Okay,
information
fair
that shouldn't be revealed.
Fair enough.
Can I have my magic 8-ball back now?
There are a couple other questions.
Are they still about me and my people?
No. You alive, Magic 8 Ball? I didn't mean to yell at you.
There is no response.
God damn it. I have a question. Are you alive?
Silence.
There is no response.
God damn it. I think I broke it.
Shake it.
And I hand it back to Jodak after shaking it.
You see the little cloud-like substance inside of it warble around of it.
No response? No, nothing still?
No.
Damn it. I hand it back to Jodak. I think it doesn't like me because I yelled at it. I'm sorry. You probably are going to have to relay my questions from here on.
Thing broken?
Is this thing broken? You see it light up again. You do not hear anything.
You can probably tell it. You probably have to tell it it can talk again.
You are allowed to speak. More like, please speak.
What'd you say?
I said more like, please speak.
He said you are allowed to speak. More like, please speak. His exact words.
Nothing.
You can only ask it questions.
Are there commands that would destroy such an orb like you, or disrupt your capabilities of doing what you do?
It lights up, and it stays lit for a minute. You see all the clouds doing its little things like it would normally be doing whenever it's speaking, and then it goes dim again.
Always wondered, is this thing even intelligent?
No, it's a magic item.
You might need to take it to a repair shop.
What did you do?
I told him to shush. Which probably was a mistake. Because I didn't want to insult you with it telling me an answer to a question that I didn't technically ask it. But it didn't understand because I was holding it, which is not its fault.
You guys broke the Google Home.
I mean, you guys. I barely ever ask a question. I think I've asked it a grand total of 3 questions on my own.
Yeah, because you don't know what the fuck to use this bitch ass thing for. I would use the
Because
fuck
there's
out
no
of this.
reason to
It is
use it,
literally
yeah.
Arik in a bottle. We can ask it whatever question we want and get the answer to it, and you fuck it up every time.
Do I give
And
the game
you
away?
broke it.
You hand it to me, and I break it.
Do I give the game away or do I wait? I think I'll wait just a little longer.
You say you're gonna wait, and everybody goes fucking silent.
So you gotta wait and start thinking, what exactly did you just say?
He said, do I give up the game?
No. What did you say in your command? For the shush.
I mean, I said, no, shush, not you. That's pretty much all I said. If that helps.
It doesn't.
I've had to solve this problem in the real world with real TVs.
Turn the volume up.
Thing's proper name, whatever it is.
Turn the volume up. That's all it is. Just turn the volume up. I hit the mute button. Unmute
Is
it.
there a volume button, or is there a mute button on this? Or
There's no button.
I didn't think
what
there was a
do you
button.
Lines.
How do you
I just say,
unmute the
please
orb?
speak louder. Or some shit.
I'm going with that suggestion right there. Please speak louder.
Is this volume acceptable?
I fucking hate you, Eric.
The volume we were at before being handed off to the being known as Tadori was acceptable.
Is this volume acceptable?
Yes, it is.
Confirmed.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to turn the volume down on you.
I'm fucking hyperventilating, Jesus Christ.
I did just kind of want it to not talk about the thing you told me not to have it talk about. To be fair. Anyway.
Right. Right.
I get to have fun too.
Can you answer the previous question?
There
Again,
were many previous questions. Which one are you referring to?
we won about commands and such things.
Well, I think it was like,
I'm
what are
trying to remember
the commands
how I
you're...
phrased the question.
Clinkety clank clank, clinkety clank 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 clank.
It's a man who's
Oh,
got a
sorry.
baby that bites him. He needs to distract him.
Fine.
I went outside to smoke.
You're good, dude.
Smoking around the baby is not good for itself.
It's for the PSA.
Unless, of course, the baby's also smoking, and then it's fine.
Oh, girl,
Yeah,
all
say
the
it, never
babies.
say that again. I want to spray something.
Hey,
Sentient is this order.
Jodak! Ask the question about commands, bro.
No, that's a different question. How sentient is the orb?
This orb is a device to exposit information previously collected by the individual known as Filbert.
That was not the question.
Yes, it
All
was.
the information that you have available to Filbert?
Filbert was the one who added the information currently available to this orb.
How do you add more information to the orb?
More information can be added by...
Hey, no, fuck you. You don't get to, no, he wasn't touching the fucking orb. You don't get to answer that question. Fuck you, no.
That's why I said, hey, wait.
A finger on the orb.
Okay.
How do we add more information?
More information can be added to the orb by adding additional information to the orb.
Saying that all the
that's just
information
a
currently is available to the orb was added by Filbert.
That is what I
So
have
this man
stated.
held it and read it books.
How old is Filbert?
He has asked me not to divulge his age.
And if I asked you to actually divulge his age, would you do so?
I got a better question. Pull the orb again. For how many years did he give you information?
Filbert has been filling me with information for the last 32 years.
Jesus.
Clever.
I have another question. Have the elves ever sided with a faction before in a time of need?
Define the elves as a faction. Do you mean individual?
Belanue.
As a coordinated force? The country of Belanue. The country of Belanue has sided with factions in the past. Oftentimes, against the aggressor.
God damn it. Belanue is gonna side with the gnomes against me.
Or will they side with us against the war is coming?
Well, they're gonna side with anyone against the God Wars, of course. That's once the God Wars start, everyone's gonna come together.
For the purposes of it,
It
hey,
won't-
Hope, Caleb, do you two have anything you want to do? Or is it just these guys? You're an hour and a half in now at this point, and I feel kind of bad.
Nah, I'm good.
It's
At
good
this point, I'm
chilling.
just listening.
It's politics day.
Just chilling.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm too slow for this kind of shit.
Put it this way.
Whenever the orcs get
Just
back,
back.
I'll show you what I had planned for the first 5 minutes of the session.
Okay.
Before this
Hey.
happened.
Jodak. Jodak,
What?
Um,
What?
stop spacing out on me here.
I'm not
we need to let
spacing out.
Peon
I'm
know.
wondering how else you could break this orb and hoping that you don't do it again.
Please do not break
Okay.
the door.
We gotta let Peon and now the girl, I don't remember her name, have a go at the orb. Because we're kind of just off over here doing our own thing. As compensation, we gotta let them have a go at the orb.
How about no?
How
She
about
hasn't
let
had
him?
a reading yet.
How about also
Hey.
that?
I just sprayed myself in the face.
How about Jodak? You hold on to the orb, let Peon put his hand on it, and ask a fucking question, and not be so goddamn stingy with the shit you have.
The fact that his name is
Okay,
Peon.
this is an asset. For one thing, it's an asset that we probably should not let other people know about. Like we met Ina.
What are they
I think
gonna
her
do?
name's Ina yesterday.
What?
Oh, I don't know.
what is
How about
anyone
spread a
in-
rumor saying that we're devil worshippers and bar that it gets in our way eventually?
It obviously isn't going to get in our way right now.
I got an idea. Pokes the orb again. Let it be known the Band of Iron are not devil worshippers.
You wish to add information on the Band of Iron. That you are, in fact, not devil worshippers.
Yes.
No.
Conflicting
Yes!
information.
What?
Don't add that information.
Why not?
They don't need any information about devil worshipping in the first place.
But if the orb says we're not devil worshippers, then we can't be devil
And
worshippers.
the orb knows all, then yeah, we should be not devil worshippers.
The orb that only you guys can talk to. We're not evil, are we? No.
It's better to
You've told me
deny
to say
claims.
no.
Oh.
See,
It's just
it is
like
now on
writing into the
record. We are not
dictionary.
dead.
Super cal. It's just like writing to the dictionary, adding your own word. That doesn't
It's
help
Wikipedia.
anybody.
But it's better to deny claims than to let them fester.
Anyway,
But we're not
I'll put my
denying
hand
to
on the
anyone
orb.
but ourselves.
Wonder what questions about yourselves you would ask this.
I'm about to. I'm gonna put my hand on the orb
I'm very
and go. Can you identify the intentions of an individual holding you?
This orb simply relays information.
So you cannot identify any amount of evil intent.
This orb
From the
simply
people.
relays information.
Okay. Place his hand back on the orb. What information do you know about the individual known as Tadori?
Individual Tadori. Last name, query.
Ahriman.
Further specify. Place of origin.
Hell.
Further specify. Place of origin.
What was the life zone of hell called again?
Yep.
I don't remember. Just life?
Just
Zone
give
of
it.
hell?
Give it the lifestyle.
Life zone of hell.
Essentially, like anything that would be on like public record things, even in the hells, it would have. So it like has like your decided like housing there. If you want it to continue on, it'll give like immediate family, and then it will go to an unknown disappearance, and then it will state that you were seen walking around with individuals known as the Band of Iron, starting in Salika.
Knows quite a lot about me. How did Filbert
Who did
know
Filbert
about
insert
me
this
in the
information?
hells? We both asked the same question.
Yeah.
The individual known as Filbert had many ways of gathering information.
Jesus fucking Christ.
What are his ways of gathering information?
Individuals giving him information.
What are the names of these individuals in this
Filbert has asked
situation?
me not to relay the names of the individuals who gave information.
What information has Filbert asked you not to relay?
Much.
It's not gonna be that easy.
Yeah.
Why has
I
Filbert
hope so.
encoded in you to not relay certain information?
To keep safe. Things that keep things safe.
I touched the orb.
What things are you keeping safe?
Things that Filbert has told me to keep safe.
God. Lou.
I got a question for it. I touched
Bring
the orb.
it on, nerds!
Can Filbert see through you?
Filbert cannot see through this orb.
Filbert
created
access
this orb?
information added to this orb.
This orb was created by, and it gives some long drawn-out gnomish name.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead, Thaddeus. Ask your question again. I didn't hear you go.
You're
Can
all just
Filbert-
fucking hands in the middle team, whatevering this at this point.
Yeah,
all it
did
looks
Filbert
like.
access any information given to this orb or collected by this orb?
Say again?
Can Filbert remotely access information given to this orb?
This orb provides information to the individual holding the orb who asks the question.
Is this orb... Or no, sorry. I started wrong. Does this orb have a copy?
This orb is unaware of any identical copies of this orb. This orb also does not have eyes.
what information is known about the individual known as Peon?
Define. Last name known? Query.
Do we know Peon's last name?
No.
I said it when I was first introduced.
What's your last name?
Did you actually say it when you first introduced? Because I would have.
I did, yeah.
Man.
You don't remember
Son of a
it.
bitch.
I can't believe it.
Give me a second.
What friends you guys are.
Nope, I just have
Son of a
Peon.
bitch.
And you're a
I only
goblin.
write down first names of everybody, because writing down everybody's last name would be a pain in the butt.
What a shame.
God damn it. Unknown.
Further specify. Place of origin.
Salika?
Oh.
Further
No.
specify. Species.
Goblin.
Goblin.
Searching.
Can't be many
Goblins.
peons.
Named
Goblin.
Peon. Results returned. 14.
God damn it. He's not from Salika, though, is he?
No.
Shit.
What about a Peon with a fungus attached to his arm?
Leave my son out of this with your devil magic.
Varying. Peons with a fungus attached to them. Further specification. Known last name.
Unknown.
Further specification. Point of origin.
I don't think it's Salika.
Unknown.
Further specification. Known affiliations.
Band of
Band of
Iron.
Iron.
You get
And druids of
Well,
wherever
that
their
one's
place
not
they're
helpful.
from.
by all means. Tell me what their druidic settlement was known as.
We don't know, my guy, so you don't.
You
can't
said
bring
it
that
once
one in.
before, and I don't remember it. And I'm upset.
Query. Peon affiliated with Band of Iron. Results returned. 1. What would you like to know?
Hey,
General information.
state the. You just all.
They, because I don't want to give the game away, exposit his proper last name and the fact that he was known to have joined the druidic encampment where the other party interacted with their big God War entity.
2, 3, 4.
That's a question that should be asked, but I'll leave it.
Then it goes on to say how they joined the Band of Iron and upon their return were infected with some sort of thing.
Are there any living entities from the God Wars remaining?
It's gonna name the goop.
It names the goop. It names subspecies of the goop. It names things that just don't die. It names a few other things, and then it goes and says that there are a few things that are questionable entities that have not been seen but haven't been confirmed dead, and one of which is the thing that it's the same name as it gave the druidic group from a second ago.
Okay.
I have to specify.
Are there any humanoids alive that were alive during the God Wars?
Known living humanoids from the God Wars. There's a word that means like qualifier. Qualifier. Are they participants or simply alive?
Participants.
Negative.
Alive?
Simply alive?
Or yeah.
Yes. Mini elves.
Fuck.
Unexpected.
But they just tell you that it thinks that literally everyone who actually participated has died.
Ah, blah, blah, blah.
Bleh. That's a really stupid question.
Gonna have to start looking
I'm
at the
gonna
actual
ask it.
timing for how long Liamon's lasts. I know it's 8 hours, but I'm keeping a track now. You're on a fucking Wikipedia jaunt.
we're in a rabbit hole. Save us, please.
I want to know about the soul stones, but I don't know how to ask about it.
Is there a way to contact the gods associated with the entities that participated in the god wars against the goo and the crystals?
That was a lot of qualifiers. Please repeat that.
Is there any way to contact the gods that were attached to any of the weapons or whatever that fought against the goo / crystals during the God
Negative.
Wars?
The weapons were a creation, not of holy origin.
Then why did they call it the God Wars?
The gods were the main participants in the fighting. And by that I mean the underlings under the gods were the main participants in the fighting.
Is there any way to contact the gods who were the main participants in the fighting?
Since the end of the God Wars, the gods themselves are impossible to directly contact, barred forever from the material plane.
Can you go to them?
None have yet succeeded, or are known to have succeeded. A leading thought is that it is a more than 1 week journey in the Sea of Stars to make it there.
How deadly is the Sea of Stars?
100%.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What all is in the Sea of Stars?
Yes.
Oh.
Remnants from the God Wars, other things that started to create themselves and did not succeed. Horrific monstrosities banished from the material plane, along with the gods.
I'll be right
Is there
back.
a safer way to travel through the Sea of Stars?
The current method of travel, which is by short jaunts to safe locations, is the preferred method.
Wait a goddamn minute. I'm gonna take my hand off the orb for a second. Okay, call me crazy, call me stupid, call me whatever.
Stupid.
Yeah.
I have a
Crazy.
sinking suspicion that the Emperor is trying to link something link where the gods are to us on the material.
Or he may just be attempting to get in contact with the gods.
No, I get that, but why else would he be jaunting into the Sea of Stars and creating a whole shit ton of safe little locations to land?
This is unexplored territory for him to expand into without actively causing a war
Do you
with
really
everyone
think
else.
he's that simple-minded? That he just wants to go out and adventure? I mean, come on!
I didn't say he was adventuring. I said he was claiming territory, gathering resources.
In an
Yeah,
area
alright,
that is
alright.
incredibly deadly, that will more than likely end in more than most of his individuals dying?
Yes.
I don't see that. There's gotta
what
be a
most-
big picture there.
That's what most kingdoms do when they're running short of resources. They send someone on a journey to go find new resources. collect them, and
No,
bring
I-
them back.
I understand that. I do, right? But what resources do they realistically need? Everything they have is free. Everything they do, like the food, it's a cube. It's infinite amount of cubes. They have no need for practical resources. Like whatever resources they need, the people themselves go out and acquire. The empire doesn't have to necessarily go out and gather them. You know?
They don't need to pay anyone for that, but there still has to be resources for people to go gather.
Like I said, I understand where you're coming from, but I have a sinking suspicion. You know? A gut feeling, if you will. I think the Emperor is a whole lot more big picture. And that's not quite big picture enough for my brain, if that makes any sense. Because that is such an extremely dangerous place to go to. There are much easier places to go to gather resources. I mean, for Christ's sake, they just found an island over there not too long ago. Like Galadrius or whatever the hell it was called. Like, they just settled there. Who knows however many other islands are on this little ball of rock? You know? I don't know, call me crazy, call me weird. I think there's much more going on. There is very little reason to just stay here and not go and go instead of go that way. Because that way is just randomly exploring that way more often than not equals death. And I don't see him as the type of person to just send his people to their doom for no reason, or with very little chance of success. You know what I mean? I don't see him as the type of person. Like I said, I agree with Vashnir. He has some code of honor, some code of ethics, and that code of ethics and honor doesn't correlate with him sending his people to their death just in the hopes of finding a place to land so they don't die to the yes that is in the Sea of Stars. I mean, you know what I mean? Call it a stretch, call it a reach. I don't think it's as simple as he wants more resources. I think it's much more involved. Anyway, before I get brutally assassinated through my dome, I still think Peon should get a question. At least one. Anyway,
What's at the bottom of the spires?
there's nothing there. We don't have information.
What is at
on
the bottom of the
spire.
spires? Current confirmed information is not available. It is theorized that a remnant of godly power exists for those to claim. But that could be a story.
Who created the spires?
The spires were created as the last vestige of when the gods departed this realm. The survivors left them at their last known location.
How many spires are there?
Current confirmed amount is unknown. Current known amount is at least one for every god.
What is the deepest point of a spire that has been reached?
The deepest point is currently... Wait, query. Specification. Do you mean levels down or physically deep?
Levels down.
Levels down. The highest one is currently the Life Spire.
Really?
Currently, as of today, or currently as in when you were
Well,
given
we didn't
given
add the information to the orb that a new level was broke.
I am set to passively gather information when applicable.
There you
Motherfucker.
go.
Well, that's nice to know, I guess.
This orb
Actually-
would humbly request you not turn this setting off, as it would make my job a lot harder.
No, you're right. I agree. It's very, very helpful. So we just broke a record. That's what this orb is telling us. Like, you realize that, guys, right? We just broke a record. Now I don't want to stop.
Motherfucker.
How the fuck do you get past the goop? Ugh.
And goop, a bunch of worms.
You've
I
dealt with
know,
goop
but-
before. You've dealt with goop that's worse than this goop. Maybe you haven't. They have.
We've dealt with plenty of worms and goops and.
I have.
before.
Todori was there when Jodak got his thing.
Oh yeah, we did take out the guardian.
Yeah. So I have dealt with goop worse than those worms.
It was a fucking pain in the ass, though.
You weren't there.
That doesn't mean she's not right.
I know. It was our
It's easy to
hardest
deal
fight.
with now.
That fight was our hardest fight. Period.
You want to continue asking questions, or you want to call an end to this very suspicious meeting?
I do not ask questions. Except
Listen.
when it is for clarifying.
Do you want
Listen.
to ask questions?
Fine, want.
Have the desire to wish for new information.
New information is always applicable. Let's not make the orb of infinite knowledge sentient, though. That's probably going to backfire on us in a major way. Just
Or it
FYI.
could not.
You know,
Or it
having
very
the
much
orb
could.
is already a backfire.
Nah, it lets them get exposition whenever they want.
And
Anyway,
And they can never claim that they were unprepared.
what information is known on the current ruling entity of the life portion of hell?
Define the progenitor entity, or the one in charge, as it were.
There are two?
The progenitor entity is the corrupted portion of the god, which gives that plane its form. The one in charge is simply the one at the helm of the devils.
Both.
The corrupted aspect is a corrupted aspect of the god of life. The one in charge has been in charge for a very long time.
Do I have to talk to the one in charge or the progenitor to get my devilish stuff? This is to Arik.
Standard
orb.
devilish ascension has occurred through... Oh, above game. Never mind. Standard devilish progression has occurred through the chain of command. They may or may not,
Okay.
shove you against the spot and see what happens. You don't really know how it works. You just know that... if the imp wants to become not an imp, they do stuff, and then someone's like, yo, come here. And then they come back and they're like, "Look at me! I got horns now. I'm cool."
I'm a cackler. Oh wait, that's a bad thing.
I'm just Wikipedia tonight.
What information is known on the soul stones?
Define soul stones.
Can I press it up against you and you know what it is?
Negative.
Damn it.
This unit does not have eyes.
Any answers?
That's why I was getting to
Remaining-
have you feel it.
This unit does
You gotta
not feel.
it. How do you know who's touching you?
Essence of
This unit does
a
not.
god or creature. At least I believe that's where the soul stone is.
What's your question?
Oh, no, he
You
was
said
giving
define
information on what a soul
soul
stone is.
Two people talked at once.
You asked what a soul stone was, so I gave a definition.
Which was?
General definition. The remaining essence of a god force creature that chooses a new builder.
Calculating. This unit believes it thinks it knows what you are referring to. Does this aspect allow for a armored transformation of some kind?
Yes, it
Correct.
does.
What question do you wish to know?
What information is known about them?
Most were lost. Some have been found. Their effects are different, yet they seem to be an additive to a terrestrial creature, instead of as their own entity. Exact function is unknown.
Is there a way of identifying them individually?
More
Very
than likely based off of
defined.
what they were.
Do they have defining traits that identify a
A,
soul
What
stone as an
beast?
individual?
a cross-reference could be applied from beasts that were alive at the end of the God Wars. However, it is believed that only those that were crystallified were actually transformed into these stones, so the exact information and exactly what ones were is unknown.
Fine
Wait,
crystallified.
are we using... Oh, God.
Crystallification. During the end of the God Wars, when the Crystal Plague was rampaging, individuals that came into contact with it were transformed into a crystalline mass. Particularly powerful entities would then collapse upon themselves once they were fully calcified.
Crystallized, not calcified.
Shut up.
I have my moments where I know more than you. Let me have them.
You're an ass.
Not often, okay?
You muted the Google Home, and it lasted like a half hour before anybody was able to fix it.
And you didn't know the difference between calcification and crystallization. Shut up. Um,
Um,
I'm trying to formulate this. This is
Or-
very important stuff, so I'm trying to formulate the question in my brain before I ask it so I don't seem more dumb than I actually am.
For what it's worth, they've had this orb for a while.
We've had
We
it
have
for
had
a
this one
while,
for a
not
very
ever
long
asked
time,
questions.
but that motherfucker has been hoarding it forever, and we haven't had the option to fucking ask it questions.
It's my
So,
orb. It's the only thing I got from him.
yeah, and you could have been using it, but you
I
fucking
didn't
haven't.
need to.
Yeah, you
Um,
fucking did!
shut up.
From now on, I'm going to refer to these crystal calcifications or crystallizations of ancient creatures as soul stones.
Information added.
So, do these soul stones, are they, how do I say, bound or attuned to any specific elements?
This unit does not know. The assumption is that it was whatever element the original beast wielded.
That helped my
Do you
tiny
know how
pea
many
brain
of them there
zero.
are?
Say what?
You know how many there are?
This unit does not know.
Do you know how many have been found?
Like
Currently
8
known
now?
examples in the world. One moment, Arik has to get out of shit. Actually, this is something that I wrote some.
Man, I really want to buy this shit off of Red
Because
Bull.
there was like 3 or 4 of the other party members. Then there's 4 of us.
Currently, there is a assumed 8 that have been found,
Excuse me.
not counting those that have been found in the that have not been seen in the last century.
Include those.
Calculating. Oh, mad.
Oh, Eric, Jesus.
Currently, there are a known 10.
So I'll hold 2 more.
Who
Somewhere out
holds
there.
those?
It is
10?
assumed that there might be more.
Who holds those first 8?
The one exhibiting lightning powers was last seen in the possession of one known as Sanina.
Bonk.
The one utilizing ice powers was last seen in the possession of the one known as Vashnir. The one using the wind powers was last seen in the possession of the one known as Arik. The one
I
utilizing
hate...
light powers was last seen in the possession of the one known as Tadori.
Light. Ooh.
It is speculated that the Emperor has one. The one containing acid powers was last seen in the possession of the one known as Jackson. The one containing fire powers was last seen in the possession of the one known as Peon. The psychic one has not been seen for a very long time, but it was last seen in the possession known as the one who is known as Iltakak. It is speculated that the leader of the Intellect Devourer invaders has one. The one exhibiting poisonous abilities was last seen in the possession of the one known as Jodak. Information dating back on remaining samples. It reaches more than a century.
Can you repeat the name of the person who held the psychic one for me?
Negative. That information is very spotty. And I am drawing from multiple sources.
You said their name already, though.
Correct, but it was a rough gobbledygook of various different names for the individual. They were a known trickster.
It knows the word gobbledygook.
What were their species?
Unknown. Reports say they were almost always under an alter self spell.
Gross.
Well.
Not connect. Son of a bitch.
Where's my
I have-
notes?
I have a sinking suspicion. We might want to try to contact the people who are suspected to own a Godstone. Or Soulstone. Sorry.
It's just my name for them.
Again,
Well,
additional
no.
stones may exist, but their exact location and last stone wielders are not known to this unit.
I forgot.
You
my
mentioned the
DPM.
leaders of the Intellect of Hours. What is known about them?
Say again?
You said you mentioned the leaders of the Intellect of Hours. What is known about them?
Information this
Oh.
unit has is somewhat censored by Philbrick.
No need
Continue?
to answer that question.
Okay.
Who were the suspected owners of a Godstone again?
There's a rock at your head.
Callahan, an Emperor, and the Emperor.
Oh, Callahan and the Emperor? Okay.
Yeah.
Making sure. Making sure it was Callahan. And
They
then
said the
there's a
leader of
psychic
Intellect of
stone out
Hours. They
there.
didn't say Callahan.
I didn't hear Intellect of Hour. I thought I heard something else.
No. I definitely heard that.
Okay.
I had a question, and I forgot it. Of these stones that were mentioned, that have been found, has any just appeared within the last 100 years?
Yes.
With no prior appearance?
Yes. Within the last
Which?
100 years, the fire stone has suddenly appeared. The light stone has suddenly appeared. The acid stone has suddenly appeared.
Is it just those three?
All others were suspected to have a different user, or be part of a reliquary.
What was the prior user to the Poison Stone?
I forgot to say, but that one has also appeared randomly in the last 100 years.
Okay, thank you very
Okay.
much.
There you go. What was the prior? Who was the prior wielder of the Ice Stone then?
The ice one was a chieftain Bloodbreak.
Was Light
Before that,
one of those four?
It was one of the new ones.
light, fire, poison, and acid were the new
Yeah.
ones. Before Bloodbreaker?
They named some other orc. It looks like it's been around
There's a lot
Raktesh
of
for a
orcs.
while, and they've just been fighting over it.
Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. Do we have a warband name for the big warband?
I don't think so.
What information is known about the largest warband in Raktesh?
The largest or the newest?
Well, the newest would be us.
Not necessarily.
Fair.
Like, are you talking about the largest?
The largest. The big player.
Got its exact name, but it will. There's a lot of squiggly details I haven't fleshed out because you guys haven't gone there. But it's going to relay that the largest warband is currently located around the actual capital of Raktesh. Its leader is the one who is the main shot caller of the Confederacy of Raktesh.
Okay.
Its hands have swapped multiple times in the last century.
Okay. That's
And
fine.
the newest?
It probably gives some like random orc name, saying they've got like 4 guys.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot that they just, if they're more than like 3 guys, they're a warband now. I forgot. What information is known about the Forbidden Zone?
Forbidden Zone was created at the end of the War of the Gods. God Wars, that's how I say it. The crystalline entity was brought forth to bring an end to the parasitic entity. this was the location for which it was brought.
So wait, we brought we as the people who live on the material plane brought the crystalline entity here?
That is the current assumption of knowledge.
I don't like silence. This is new information for James. I'm sorry.
You did hear me say that is the current assumption of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. I don't fucking know, dude. I'm tired.
Listen, man,
You
I'm
said-
expositing a lot today.
Yeah, you are. You said the Forbidden Zone was created. Who created it?
The Forbidden Zone was created as the instructions for the crystalline entity to keep the parasitic entity contained.
Does this crystalline entity still exist in the Forbidden Zone?
Actively, no. But remnants of it do. After its initial bringing forth, they attempted to sever its communication with itself. All known aspects of living entity have been destroyed.
What information is known about the ruins that exist in the Forbidden Zone?
The ruins of the Forbidden Zone were simply a expansive part of Elven and Halfling culture at the time.
So any of those elves that are still alive may have lived there, or have had been there before that place was destroyed. That'd be cool to talk about.
Arik requires that you give Ina her psychic reading before we call session.
Yes.
That's not me saying you need to call session, it's just... give me something back for all this.
Correct. Right.
You may be initiated. Why am I being punished?
Because you're the only one that can, and also I think they're...
They always end in someone's death.
No, they
Or
don't.
destruction
Good.
in some way.
I'm still alive.
Yours hasn't finished yet.
We're all gonna die sometime, right?
Poor Valen.
Valen.
Has anyone ever unified the Hells?
The Hells were unified at the time of the God War, when the parasitic entity and then the crystalline entity were overpowering the gods.
Oh shit.
At that time, the corrupted aspect had not yet been corrupted and severed. It was actively part of the gods. Translation, there wasn't really a Hells back then. Everything was just their domain. They're not just pure good and evil gods, that none of them are that. But there wasn't like the separated and corrupted part yet.
Forget Eric. Are dragons beasts in your games?
I mean, they're dragons. What do you mean?
Like, for some people, dragons are more mindless. Some are sentient, but not like powerfully sentient. Some are immortal. I don't know.
They are creatures
you
with the
work it.
capacity for rational thought, sometimes. Or, they are creatures with the capacity for rational thought. So,
But not immortal, basically.
you'd live a long
Like-
time,
Conditionally immortal, like vampires and elves.
potentially.
Okay.
Don't know of any great worms.
Fair. I don't know. I'm. There's a lot of questions rolling around up here, but some of them are not necessarily pertinent. Some of them are. But I think we've asked enough questions for today. We need to bring this thing out more. Just FYI. It's very useful. You're muted, love. And your mic didn't pick you up when you spoke that time.
Can you hear me now?
Hello.
Yes.
Fucking everything's going wrong for me at the moment, Jesus Christ. Anyway. I forgot what I said. Great. Woo.
Well, I don't fucking know. I couldn't hear it. Any more questions? Fashneer, Jodak? Again, I have a lot more, but I think we should stop for now.
Other than what Arik said.
Yeah, I think I'm good for now.
What do you mean, Rose?
I thought he said something about my character earlier.
And that's just a thing that they're gonna do.
Yeah.
That's not their scene right now.
Oh, I messed up. Oh no.
Jodak.
Don't you try to weasel out by giving him a little partial thing either, Thaddeus. I will hold it against you.
Second, let me go look at my stuff.
Oh no. I messed up my model and I can't fix it because the glue dried.
What you guys doing? Standing in a dome in an alley. Talking in more of a whisper
Sure, there have
tone than
been-
you've been speaking in.
I'm sure there have been a lot of people going, what the fuck is that?
Hello,
But
mate.
has there been anybody that's gone and tried to figure out what that is?
What's your passives?
Mine is high, I think. Yeah, mine's 23.
Okay, nobody's jumped out at you.
Okay.
I would say I focus on, detecting life forms, but I kind of been distracted. So I also can't say that.
Okay.
Let's go have a secret conversation and not assign a guard. Genius.
You can't trust anybody.
I have no other questions I need to ask. I do have a question I need to ask.
Ask then.
The Emperor was assumed to have a stone, a soul stone. What element, if any, is he assumed to have?
Information is unreliable. Assumption is that it goes with his heritage, and it is of shadow.
Shadow similar to the Shadow Spire? Assuming there is one, of course. There is a Shadow God.
The assumption it gives.
Hand back on stone. What is the stone that is assumed or supposed the leader of the intellect about or whatever have?
That one is assumed to be of a neutral variation.
Neutral? Is that the word I heard you say here?
Yes.
What the fuck does that mean?
Neutral often shows itself in what is known as force.
Oh. I understand.
I don't.
The element in D&D, simply known as force.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the thing that
Magic missile.
that, thank you, does.
Yeah.
The stone is force,
Yeah.
which is terrifying.
And Jodak's
Not as
injury
terrifying as
is
psychic.
actually kind of back up this claim that it's giving. For what it's worth.
My what?
When you got hurt real bad.
Yeah, when I got hurt real bad by necrotic and force.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took note of that. Wrote it down on my little notepad.
Do you want to... This is James talking. Do you want to confirm the information that they have those? Because we kind of know at this point.
Not necessarily. You have no confirmation, you've never seen them transform, don't have any
What?
sighting of such a thing.
They may have tier 5, and their tier 5 may come without a transformation.
Eventually.
You never know. I mean, do you really think a guy that is supposedly wielder of the Shadow Stone would want his transformation to be flashy? Kind of counterintuitive. You know what I mean?
Alright, let's.
Oh, you have no further questions? Because I have
All
none.
hand has force, huh? Good for him. Anyway, let's group back up. And I think Bashnir made a good point. The new girl hasn't had a reading yet.
Leave the alley, go back to the tavern.
I have.
Yes, it's kind of tradition at this point. We always keep with tradition, or bad things happen.
For the sake of it,
I'm
Peon
just
and
gonna note down that you don't like me. Gotcha.
for the sake of it, you two, just because you as players haven't really been here, the food in Bellinue has very much like an old world like type feel to it. Like, you swear parts of it are like dinosaur stuff. The way that they serve things is very, very simplistic. There's like over large fruits. That kind of stiffen things.
Like, that is definitely the thigh of a Tyrannosaurus.
Alrighty then.
So big meat.
Big meat.
Can I put big meat in my pocket?
I mean, you can put it in like your card, I guess. It's kind of big to put in your tiny goblin pockets. Unless it's in
James,
tiny
help.
pieces, at
James,
which point in
help.
time it's no longer big meat, it's tiny
You
meat.
don't want my help. You don't want my help. Because I got a
Put it
place
in
you can
my
put that meat.
apartment.
Ah!
God damn it, James.
Got a lot of faith in his pocket.
I'm gonna put it in my apartment.
Again.
I'm gonna.
Do it.
Meat in apartment.
You can. I'm gonna.
My sister's not responding to me.
You hold the large hunk of food next to your void card and it oops it inside.
Fantastic. I should redecorate my apartment today.
You should have informed us you had an apartment. Then we could have put all those people inside it. And some of them wouldn't have had to die.
You know, I thought about that and then still chose to not say anything. So
Wow, my guy.
Fair.
Your plan was known
Very
and
fair.
refused. But you three, go back inside.
I want you to know, I'm eating these Cheerios without milk,
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
but I'm not happy about it.
Crunch. Crunch.
way to go, James. I'm proud of you.
Crunch. Crunch.
You're welcome.
It's character development.
I'm just that hungry.
I figured that's why I brought them.
I have been out of food and drink for the last hour and a half. I'm really
Yes.
feeling it, I'll be
Oh my
honest.
God, son.
Made me exposit a lot, took a lot of power. We continue.
3 more water bottles.
Where'd my flyer go?
I'm eating dry Cheerios without any drink.
I have a water bottle, but it's too far away for me to reach without taking off my headset.
Grab the sword.
I could reach one of those. However, none of them have the correct design to where I could grab it. So if I do that, you're gonna hear some straining noises, and then a damn it, and then a punk.
Grab 2 of them and use my chopsticks.
I can't.
That's
I have-
chopstick.
I have sad American hands. I can't use them well. I can do exactly what's required to not starve, and that is it.
Me
And
too.
by that he means take one of the chopsticks and stab it into something.
No, I can do the
Then
grabby thing. It's just, it's got
I
like
can't.
baby power.
I cannot do the grabby thing at all.
You're gonna need to learn.
So he's gonna walk around eating things with his hands.
Not in most places. Most places do not have fork.
And most of the motherfucking places we're gonna be eating are just copies of fast food restaurants we have here. Where I can eat a burger.
Regardless, you are now back in the tavern, all of you.
Eric just interrupted.
Hey, while you're giving her that reading, can I borrow the orb real quick?
No.
Why?
You broke it the last time.
Broken.
I didn't break it.
I'm
I
not
just turned the
taking that
volume
risk
down,
again.
and we didn't know that it had a volume switch. Let me borrow the orb.
No.
Why?
I'm not taking that risk again.
I'm not
pickpocket
going to
the
do
orb.
anything to it. I'm going to let Peon ask a question.
15 minutes
You have
later,
been
he comes
told
back.
no.
Hey, I've got a problem. What? He keeps saying something. What? Input password. Did you set a password? Nope.
You know, that's a good idea. I just set a password.
Motherfucker, shut up. You set a password on the Orb of Infinite Knowledge. I will stab you and reset the password.
He's not
I just
joking.
want to set a password even more. You know what?
You know I can take your ass. Don't test me.
Can you, though?
Anyway, shut the fuck up.
You're too hasty. You'll jump into your form first.
I'll stun you for a turn.
And I'll stun you for multiple turns.
I'm just gonna sit here for the rest of the session, I guess.
Then I'll slow you so you can only make one attack.
Listen, man, I'm trying. And now
I know.
they want to fight each other.
Hey. You'll status affect me. And that allows me, and the slowed condition allows me to either use
Most
an action, a
status
bonus
effects
action, or a
don't
move.
Count for that. They still affect you.
We'll deal with this whenever we eventually PvP at the end of the campaign.
I'm gonna fuck them up.
I'm gonna cry.
Other party members are visible. Who wants to what?
I don't even know what's going on anymore. I just.
Get beyond this fucking question.
Go over to Peon. Drag
Hello.
Jodak along because he has the orb.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? Do I test this?
Hey, Peon, how are you doing?
I have lots of meat.
Critic, don't play dumb. Hold out the orb.
I'd rather not. It's kind of very in an open area where it could very easily be knocked out of my hands, broken, or stolen.
You're very bad at holding on to things then if you can at least be very fucking knocked out of your hands or stolen.
If someone attempts to steal it, trust me, I will notice. First off. Second off, I will stab them! And I say it loud.
If you can.
Oh, I can. Let
I
me
have faith in
You are-
Tadori stabbing.
I have no faith. I take no risk.
You're an idiot.
You're a paranoid motherfucker.
Let Peon ask a question.
What kind of questions does one ask to the orb?
Whatever you want.
I met someone just like this. He was a dwarf. He was drunk. He asked me what a fortune was.
What is a fortune?
Fortune is a fortune. Do not ask what a fortune is, or I will stab you. I'm not dealing with
One,
it again.
that's very rude. I just asked for clarification on what a fortune is.
You
A
ever
large
see
sum of
fortune?
wealth.
Ow, I just stabbed
Okay.
myself.
I'm not going to stop bothering you until you let him ask a question.
Yeah.
That's a promise.
Get one or the other. Either I give Ina a fortune, or you let Peon ask a question. One or the other. Choose.
Fortune. I choose fortune.
I say both.
I also say both.
I just want to get this shit over with.
I'm
I
sorry.
put my hand on the orb.
Put your hand on them. Yonek's very hesitant, but eventually he hesitantly allows you to do so.
I don't think he
I'm
pulled out the
assuming.
orb. No, I doubt it.
I guess. Fine.
What's the harm? It's Peon.
It's Peon.
It's Peon. There's no harm.
He is currently finding
Give the
ways
girl
to
her
inflict
damn
harm.
fortune. And give the girl her damn fortune. That's tradition. You can't break
Oh.
that.
Tradition. Traditions are meant to be broken.
It's a good way to get killed.
Yeah, tell that to
I've died
somebody who
before. I can die again.
You've never died. You just broke your body.
tell that to somebody who made James celebrate Christmas when he doesn't like celebrating Christmas.
That's not a tradition, though. What do you mean?
It's my family's tradition to always do Christmas.
Also, I still
Peon.
haven't celebrated Christmas.
Which
I was
hand
just
are you
around
putting
for
on the
you.
orb?
My left.
That actually isn't kind of important.
My left.
Is that the one that's taken over or not?
Yes.
What? That's not an answer to my question, damn it.
It's the one that's taken over.
You do not want to put that one on there. You won't be able to ask a question. Because
Put it
that's
on
not
there.
you.
What do you do?
It's Peon Jr.'s turn. I'll go after Peon Jr.
Put the hand on there.
But you-
Yeah.
Alright. I am an orb that can tell you answers to questions that you may have. No. No. This unit does not know. This unit apologizes.
Feel the need to start reading PJ's mind just to know what questions he's asking.
This unit believes that the organic mass of blah 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 math. So, maybe.
Jesus Christ. Hey, Peon, you're not asking any questions. Junior is.
Oh, my bad. Other hand on the orb. Oh, orb of knowledge. How
Oh my
do
God.
I make food last longer in my bag?
Standard examples of preserving food include salting or freezing.
Thank you, Orb.
See? Painless.
No, painful. Now to sit here questioning what PJ asked.
Don't worry about it.
Nanya.
It was all about eating.
It's none of your business, brain boy.
You shut up.
Oh, that was a good one.
I can't argue that.
That was a good one. That was a good one. He got you on that one. Now find a comfy table. Let's give the girl a fortune.
Holy plant. The only part plant.
Come on. Let's go give the girl her fortune.
Do I have to?
Yes.
I really don't want to.
Yes! You do have to!
I really don't want to.
I'm unwanted. I understand. It's okay.
They just turn out all bad. They
Don't
always
make
turn
me
out
go
bad.
tell Vashnir.
I think mine was fine.
I also think mine was fine.
I don't
I didn't
remember
give you
any
one.
of mine.
Yeah, you did. I got talked into it. On the boat.
Wrong folder. Where's my folder of fortunes?
It was something to do with, it was gonna be a real big pain in the fucking ass to get home or whatever.
Correct.
Because that's what I asked.
Ah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. I asked, what will it take to get home, or something about getting home. And it was nothing but bad. But it had nothing to do with me dying. It was just going to be a pain in my literal ass to get there. Which is fucking accurate.
It's fine. Fine.
I'll go grab the girl.
I just haven't been sitting here stalling while my app re-downloaded or anything.
How dare you delete that?
Yeah, how dare.
I didn't. I told you I haven't been. I just looking at it again.
I have Apple. I have to constantly re-download my fucking apps.
Hey. I'm blanking on your name. Help me out here.
It's
Ina.
Ina. Come over here. Since you're part of the Band of Iron, we have a tradition.
Oh, shit. Fuck.
Come on, it's fine. I'm just grab her by the arm and drag her along.
It most likely won't lead to your death,
Come on, it's fine. You're good.
probably.
You're over there at a table. Stop talking.
I'm connected to everybody.
I know. Shut up. I'm gonna bring her over to the table. Take a seat.
Computer turned off.
Take a seat.
Okay.
Shit, is Vash... There he is, okay. Vashnia, pay attention!
How are you?
What's up?
Reading.
Yep.
New reading. Yay.
I may have gotten desperate and grabbed one of those, because I don't have access to my bottle of water. It's way across the room. But I do have access to those stupid little, hey, squirt this in the drink. It'll make it taste good.
Ew!
Ew.
Ew! Eric!
They're not particularly
do
good, but they
that?
were really cheap.
You mean like Mio?
Same
You
concept.
can't drink those!
Says you. I took a sip.
That's
Eric.
disgusting!
It wasn't good.
Okay, no. We're putting this on pause until Eric goes and gets his water bottle, because that's
No.
nasty. We're
I've
putting
learned
this
my
on
lesson.
pause. I am holding this hostage until Eric goes and gets his fucking water bottle, because that's nasty.
We gotta take a sip.
No,
It's just across the room. Just
it's
stand
right
up,
there, dude.
get it.
Get up and go
Come
get it.
back.
I gotta move.
I don't care. Get up and go get it.
Go get your water. I had to
Hydrate.
do the same thing to a YouTuber just yesterday.
Hydrate yourself. Don't make me spend my channel points.
Okay, I have it. Now stop yelling at me.
Good.
Take a sip.
Fine. Sip.
Make sure we can hear this sip.
No.
I will murder somebody.
Put the mic up to your neck.
That's a bit much. That's a bit much.
We are not here for the eating ASMR, drinking ASMR, sipping ASMR.
I like to listen to people eat ice.
That's weird. You're weird.
It itches the part of my brain that nothing else itches.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Okay,
No, it's soft, frosty ice that I like.
Arik
What?
is getting his wish. Jodak is reading her fortune. Go for it.
Hi, Ina. How are you?
Confused.
As you should be.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. Thanks.
You're welcome?
I don't want
Okay. Whatever. Unfortunately, the Band of
Okay.
Iron has a little tradition. Just a little one that may or may not lead to your death.
Where are all my heads? I found them.
Hey Rose, stop paying attention to that and pay attention to what the fuck this guy is saying to you.
I'm listening.
Whenever we, how do we say, indoctrinate a new member,
Doctrine.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna put this right here. We already have that stigma, right? You remember what I mean?
oh yeah,
Let's
right.
Not
Whenever
use
someone
the word
new joins
indoctrinate.
us,
There
say
you
that.
go.
whenever someone new joins us,
Indoctrinate.
it's fitting.
It's not.
Kind of is.
It
I don't
kind
know
of
if I
is.
should
Really?
not.
Yeah. What's your question?
I think I might just leave. I'm uncomfortable by this.
You're in the right mindset. Cool. Good.
Oh, I hate this.
Like I said, we have a little tradition. See, before I joined the Band of Iron, I was a fortune teller by trade. So I tell lots of fortunes, some of the future, some of the past, some of future plans, etc., etc. So whenever someone new joins us, I give them their own little reading, which is what you're here for today, right now.
Alright.
I really do need to run through this spiel, and I haven't done it in forever. So I'm just going to warn you outright. I will be telling you about your future. You cannot look into the future without the future looking back at you. So looking into it, hearing about it, will inevitably change anything that will happen to you in the future. Do you understand this?
Yeah.
And do you wish to proceed anyway?
Sure.
That's not a yes or a no. That's just a sure.
Take it or leave it.
I mean, she's not denying it, but she
Hey.
kind of is.
She said yes.
All right,
Try to weasel your way out of this, you motherfucker.
all right. I can pull out my fancy deck of cards. No, I can't pull out my fancy deck of cards because someone burned them. I need to pull out my backup set of cards.
Who made your fancy deck?
Hmm?
Who did that?
I wonder who. I wonder who blew up a table in a barn. That wasn't even.
I didn't blow up a table.
No, it was Kieran.
I don't
Yeah, it
remember
was Kieran.
blowing up a table.
Pull out my backup deck of cards. First and foremost, I just need to know. What is it that you desire? What is it that you want? What are your plans going forward?
Most people would consider it revenge, but I'm more along the lines of calling it making things normal again.
You seek justice or normality?
I think she means vengeance. Just in her mindset, it's normality. Which, to a large degree, don't get me wrong, girl, vengeance and normality are very, very much entwined.
Especially with my life.
Fortunately, the exact wording in this case does matter. Vengeance, normality, or justice. Or another word, another phrase that fits your situation correctly.
You want Is it vengeance you seek, normality of a situation you seek, or justice of a situation?
You don't need to clarify. I understood.
I know. That was in character.
So, was that hello? James, shut up. Anyway, I guess justice would be the proper word.
Justice. Justice. This is for a situation where you feel you are wronged. Understood. At this point, I will start shuffling my cards. Here from this deck, as I fan them out, just draw out 3 cards. 3 cards from anywhere in the deck. Top, from the middle, from the bottom, wherever you want. 3 cards.
Alright. I guess I do so.
Do you feel happy with your selection? Feel free to change them. Put back 1 card, put back 2, put back all of them, or put back none.
You also might want to specify where things are coming from.
Yeah.
Otherwise, randomly picking.
I don't know how to do this.
Pick random scratch.
Like second from the left, third from the right, 2 over from the middle, something like that.
Anywhere you wish. All that matters is it has to be your choice. That you must choose your cards yourself.
I'm not gonna specify, but I'm okay with the cards that I
Enough.
grabbed.
3 cards have been selected. These 3 cards determine essentially yes. These 3 cards determine your fate. The first card here represents a situation that you found yourself in. Either a situation that you're referring back to that you're seeking justice for, or a situation you currently are in. Does this make sense to you?
Yeah.
Flipping over that card. Card is the Knight of Cups. In the 4 position. In this position, this card represents a messenger of sorts, adventure, romance, etc., etc.
Which card was that?
The Knight of Cups. Would you like me to describe what the card looks like?
Sure.
There is a knight riding a horse with a cup in his hand.
Alright.
Coming across a river. Trying to cross a river.
Okay.
As this card represents your situation, it says that you're being invited to go on an adventure, or you're meeting a romantic interest. But considering the situation you are in, the one that you mentioned, I'm more inclined to believe it's you are being invited to go on an adventure. Whether it's good for you or bad for you, we wouldn't know. Don't know. Just that is what you are currently being offered. The second card here represents. Let's see, represent again. Got it. Represents the actions that you have taken up to this point and the actions you will take going forward. Or the actions that. Ooh. Ooh. This card, flipping it over, it's the Three of Swords. To describe the card, there are three swords piercing a heart while blood rains from the sky. And since it's in the 4 position, this card represents or means heartbreak, suffering, or grief. So along this adventure that you go on, that you are being invited to, you will meet with, I hate to say it, but something disastrous, world-breaking, something that you will find disturbing, to say the very least. Be it the loss of a loved one, loss of something important to you, loss of purpose. Essentially, you'll deal with the loss of some kind. And the final card here represents the outcome. The outcome is the ending of your story. The ending of this adventure in this situation. The card, it is the Three of Wands in the reverse position. So in this case, describing the card, is a knightly fellow with his arms crossed behind his back, standing in front of a banner with 3 wands crossed behind him. And because it's in the reverse position, it is upside down. In this position, this card represents obstacles, delays, frustration. Meaning that your, how do I say, end goal, seeking justice for yourself, will be a frustrating task. Not that you will not accomplish it, but it'll be frustrating to you at the very least. You'll meet with many obstacles, such that you may just give up on it. Or at least it'll be delayed much longer than you wish it to be. Has the things I've said thus far made any sense to you? Do you need further clarification?
No. I understand perfectly.
It seems it seems like you can only give doom and gloom fortunes. I really hate that.
That wasn't a doom and gloom. That was just, hey, you're probably going to have a hard time, but it may not be that bad.
May not be that bad, except you're going to be stopped every step of the way. And delayed.
Delayed, not stopped. Delayed every step of the way.
There's nothing wrong with having obstacles in your way. It helps you to grow and to become stronger.
See, even she's taking a positive outlook on it. Come on, man.
At least it's better than Vashnir's fortune.
I mean, Vashnir's ended his death, so yeah.
I did ask if I would die of battle. I'm gonna ask for it.
That's fair. That's very fair.
But didn't it also kind of say that he wouldn't, though?
I thought it said he would gain glory. And then he would die on the battlefield. It's been a while since then.
It has been a long time. I wasn't even here when y'all gave that one.
I definitely didn't note down that fortune. So congratulations. You've probably received the most positive fortune among the Band of Iron that I've given so far.
Not the same as mine.
Not the same. Most peons. Celebrating the occasion of joining a family. I have a sense of balance. And you will have to choose the lesser of two evils. Cool. There. Well done. Congratulations. Now you can actually say that you're a member of the Band of Iron. Woohoo.
Mission accomplished.
It's not trying on us, you will be dead in the mountain. Anything else that y'all wanted to get done? Any other fortunes you wanted me to give? Do you want me to give PJ a fortune as well?
Can you?
No.
Uh,
My face lit up whenever he offered that, and now I am sad.
Next session.
It's like, yes, finally, they accept me. Nope, okay, fuck me, I guess.
We'll
I just want to give PJ his own little ring.
wop. Oh god, I'm not strong enough to do it.
So it sounds like you guys are heading to bed.
Yes.
Write this down.
Anything for the days in between now and whenever the ship actually returns?
Mm.
Hey, Eric.
Yo.
Would you be against me using my 2 plane shift scrolls and giving my father his scrying orb right now?
Sure you want to head there? Because you don't know what's going on? That might
Fair
be,
enough.
okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You have a couple days, right?
Yes.
Every once in a while, I want to poke my head into the light spire, see what's going on. See if I can still hear some screaming.
Essentially
Or
what you
see if
get
I can
is
find
that...
any intelligent beings anywhere near the topish floors type thing.
Essentially what you get is that they're pushing it back down with, mainly a lot of fire.
I am not tired.
Ending the session yet.
Oh,
I know.
got other things to do.
I know. I just noticed the time was all.
See, I'm working on it.
No, you're good. James is the one with the issue, and he doesn't work tomorrow anyway.
Correct.
But yeah, for the Spire, they're mainly pushing things back down. There's a lot of people with fire things, so they're just going down there and AoEing things.
Fire is the most common element.
Unless you're venturing further in, though, that's basically all you get.
Oh, I can go help out just a little bit.
They'll probably catch me in there doing the same thing.
And just for the most part, going down, keeping tight groups, and AoEing everything around you guys. There's not a lot of it. You do pick up the exact specifications of the creature. It seems that it latches onto things a lot in the attack. And then once enough of them latch onto somebody, they are just part of the worm
No.
and proceed to be more of like a zombie.
Efficient.
the orb know what these things are? If it's passively gaining information?
Are you asking?
Yes.
It is currently believed that this is the viral, or the disease, the parasite known as the autophage.
Alright.
It's so diseased.
Reports state that when enough of the autophage initiates itself within a biomass, the biomass has an intense desire to consume itself, before turning into worm things, that then seek to spread the disease.
Oh, thank you.
Historic documents indicate this was a trial during the end portion of the God War.
Alright.
Is there an exact number for the number of these? I'm gonna call them parasites
Autophages?
that need to attach onto something to zombify it.
3 is the prevailing number. 1 or 2 given time will also do the job.
Can't focus on painting when I have to piss this bad. Ugh. I'll be back.
Alright.
Did Did any intellect of ours? I'm asking private. Did any intellect of ours fight in the God Wars?
I need to specify that question a bit more.
As in someone of the species.
Intellect devourers were present then. Though it was also the time where the Illithid Empire was
Alright. That's
in
the point.
place. So,
Did they meet with these creatures, the autophage parasites?
it can be assumed.
They have a similar reaction to them.
Specific instances unknown. Assumed information states that they would wrestle for control over the body, perhaps puppeting it away from the original puppeteer.
As the paperwork of one of potential future bosses fault.
Understood. That's the last questions I need to do.
Other activities. Those two seem to be busy. Asking if there's anything else anybody wants to be doing. Tadori and Jodak are down there helping clear the parasites. But there's not, that's
Clearing
fine.
them from where?
They're just, like, going down the level that's already been, like, opened up. The only thing that they're realistically doing is maybe getting to, like, the mouth of the forest.
Live spire worms. We're killing them off.
I don't think that they're delving. I think they're just, like, down there to provide assistance.
I'll go.
You have an AoE.
Not really.
Then for the sake of what they're currently a part of, really don't want
No
you there.
good. Gotcha.
Like, you'd be good if an infected individual comes up, but that's about it. And those are mostly not that high and hardy, so they can deal with them with a couple jets of flame. but it sounds like I can hit the fast forward button.
Yeah.
It seems you can.
Okay. Your ship re-arrives in the area that you previously touched down at. It comes in from the west-northwest portion of town. That direction.
You weren't heard, love. For whatever reason, your mic isn't picking you up.
Today I am just having so many problems. Hello?
Hello.
Okay. I don't know where that is.
Well, you can
Don't
see
worry
the
about
ship
it.
come into town.
Okay.
Yeah.
And assuming you guys head that way, they've got the little beats set down for ground landing, and a gangplank has been established.
Taking the individuals that were going to be our, what you call it? You know what I meant.
Taking the jobbers.
People we were, yeah, taking the jobbers, the jib jobbers. Sorry, that's a stolen thing.
As you guys are arriving, one of the orcs is situated at the base of the gangway. And they go, oh, sorry boss, we kinda got a bit distracted for a little bit there. We were taking on some basic mercenary work. There's a place a little bit off in the direction we was. It's actually kinda cool to look at if you want to go there. But there's a lot of like big sharp thingies and ghosts. And we didn't get it done.
Didn't get it done?
Too many ghosts. And you called us back before we figured out how to take care of ghosts.
Magic.
You try stabbing them.
But then they possessed him over there, and there's an orc over there with a large stab wound, and it just kinda... Yeah. He got better.
Okay. That's good.
Hey. How did y'all guys fare?
Against the ghosts?
Well, just in general.
Well, against
Y'all
the
have fun?
actual, like, big, scary, pointy teeth things, we was okay. And then the ghost came, and then we was fighting ourselves, and that didn't go good.
Apologies.
Noted.
What?
Noted.
But yeah, that spot was apparently some sort of like old fortress stuff that people want to clear out. But it's right next to this right big old like waterfall and river thing. And like, that's where the other teleported ships can land at. So it's like, I was thinking that we could take it over. And
Set up a little...
Want to go take over a haunted fortress?
they'll shrug. Why not?
Sounds like a great idea.
That sounds like a band idea. I love it.
Alright.
Yeah, this wasn't a bounty from sort of like archaeologists wanting us to find stuff in there, but like, we's take it. Then we's get the stuff and the building.
Correct.
Eh?
Correct. I love your train of thought.
Give that man a raise.
Isn't that...
Gotta give him a raise.
We're paying him?
I don't know. Are you?
I
I
think
don't
we
think we
are.
are.
They buy us food sometimes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's payment.
You actually want money. You just ask for it.
Isn't that like... Not... Okay. No.
No, it's fine.
I'm here just for the ride. I've got no business in this.
Hey, no, actually, you're part of the band now. You have all the business in this.
Well, no one else was using it except dead people and raptors.
Yeah, but you were asked to do.
They just want the stuff, and we could sell it to them later.
Or we could keep it.
No.
What do you mean, no?
It's okay. Whoever wants the stuff after us, after we gets it, can just come there and take it from us.
Exactly.
But nope, I don't want to be a part of this. That's why I was going.
Well, what's your train of thought? Why can't we just keep it? It's not theirs. It's not
Okay,
anybody's.
my train of thought is somebody asked for the stuff. You went there to get it. You found the place, and now you're gonna keep the shit that they asked for, which if it wasn't for them in the first place, you wouldn't have found the place? Is that what I'm understanding?
You got a point. It would look bad on us if we didn't complete our mission.
All I'm
What
hearing is that we
exactly
get the
did they
stuff and then we
want
sell
from
it
there?
back to them like they want.
I'm sorry, Eric, I didn't catch that.
All I'm hearing is that we get the stuff like they want and then we can sell it back to them like they want. It was an open bounty. Payments upon delivery anyway, which is the same as selling, isn't it?
There was nothing said about paying you or anything like that. Whatever you want to do about the stuff, that's fine. But they asked for it in the first place, and if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have found the fucking place.
Well, yeah,
That's
they'd probably give the highest price for it, too.
That's none of my fucking business.
I was just saying that they didn't talk about the actual bill.
Let's keep it. I think we should take over the ghost place.
I have no
ghosts.
cons with that.
I got you, Caleb. I just gotta set up what I was initially planning on going with before I played Wikipedia for like 2.5 hours.
Sorry, Eric.
It's fine. It just means that the players care about the world, which is saying a lot, honestly. The world and its politics.
I'm too stupid for that.
Nah, you can manage.
So,
It's just not being afraid of it. That's like step one.
Very much.
Apologies, but I've the politics of
The secret is,
internet.
it's not like... Politics
Fuck, I
isn't
want
just,
you to
I'm going to
do
go
that.
argue with people. It's everything. Everything that you're doing is going to be viewed by other people, and how it is they interpret it is going to be up to them.
Hey, babe.
What?
You know that thing we just did? That thing we just did where you said we shouldn't keep the relics?
Yeah,
That's politicking.
fair enough, but I remain with the statement that the internet has traumatized me.
Somebody walks out with a statue of a donkey and an elephant. They beat each other to death.
Ah!
They end up switching signs at some point. Neither of them notices, but they just keep beating each other to death with them.
What the fuck?
Making fun of me. It's fine. So you have that on your radar. There's the other orcs in there. There's, you want to do any introductions. If you want to take people on a jaunt, if there's anything you want to do before I end the session so we know where we're starting off next time, it's probably now would be a good time.
That's Tiny. That's Big Jim. That's Mook 1 and Mook 2. That's Orc 1 and 2. That's... Fuck, what was your name?
Pointing at a dwarf.
I
They
don't
look
know your name.
confused. They look scared. They run away.
Anyway. Mostly, we have orcs. We have some dwarves. Speaking of orcs, hey! Who did we set as the leader of the orcs again? And I'm saying that to the groups of orcs.
The one that was at the bottom of the game plank. Hello.
Have you tried painting your stuff?
Why?
I don't
It'd
know.
end up red anyway.
Why?
'Cause
Well,
guys-
fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, fair. But you could clean it.
Yeah.
But you could. You don't know. Colors may have magical properties.
Stop
What?
immediately.
I want the orcs with C's to be orcs with K's, damn it. I want it so bad.
Cease your stupidity.
Hey, all I'm saying is, maybe if you paint it red, it might go faster.
Somebody tell me what's happening.
That's all I wanted to say. I'm ready to go take over a ghost castle. Right now.
Honestly, same.
I'm down to fight some ghost.
I have an amulet of protection from good and evil. I cannot be possessed. Fuck you, ghosts.
Well, it's an
I ain't
amulet,
afraid
but
of
you
no
have to
ghosts.
be like, I use this.
Possess? Possess. Is that what you just said?
Maybe.
You can't put baby in a box!
That was loud and in my ears. I hate everything.
Okay. At this point in time, are you setting course for where they were? Are you going anywhere else, dropping anything off, doing anything at all? That isn't. Let's go that way.
We have to go drop off the new guys at some point, but they can wait a little bit.
They asked us to take us there, and they won't take longer than an hour. So might as well drop them off first, right?
No, it'll take us like a week.
Which
Because
is an
it's a
hour in
week
real
to the
time.
Sea of Stars. But it's a week still. It's a week there and a week back for us. I don't want to wait a week to take over a ghost castle. They can wait on the boat. We have plenty of room.
Fair enough.
Setting course for Haunted Fortress.
Setting course for Haunted Fortress. Well,
Apparently.
I don't get to vote. He gets to dictate.
Oh, right. I do dictate that, don't I? Ooh. Heading course for Haunted Fortress.
Well, if you're not doing the navigator, it's just from the actual control panel, which other people could potentially utilize. Someone else has already proven that they can manage it.
Yeah.
You're not sure who.
That was
We have an
somebody.
engineer as well.
They just live on the ship, yes.
That's what I thought. I was making sure. Man, we got orc boys working with Mechanicus, working with Hugh. Jesus. The orc boys working with Mechanicus, working with the Leagues of Votan. Man, we got everything.
Aren't you
I got-
cool?
I got connections. A connection to the heavens.
But okay. I guess I have to technically roll a 4 just in case a giant rock swoops down and carries someone away from the ship. But outside of that, you're going somewhere that other people have already been to. You're flying. Which there's not exactly a lot of random occurrences to happen when you're flying, I'll be honest. Like there's no somebody accidentally slips down a thing and finds a cave. You're in the sky.
I mean, somebody could fall off the boat. Or not.
Then they die. But, okay, let's just say that a couple days pass, and you come upon this area at the base of a cliff where next to, like I said before, a river and waterfall is flowing past. It's largely like stone construction, white overall, and overgrown, just as a whole. And you can see some various, like, larger creatures wandering around, like, various yards that this fortress once had. Its exterior walls have long since stopped being terribly effective walls, and you're coming at it from the sky.
Yeah, most things are counterintuitive when you're coming at it from the sky.
Mm-hmm. So, for the sake of it, I'll go ahead and call session here if you guys come up with any, so that way next time you guys can come up with like a, what do we want our ship people to do, and what do we personally want to be responsible for doing? Because, whereas this isn't your destroyer, orcs are orcs, and dwarves are dwarves, they've mounted a couple smaller ballista in places where it could be useful from the sky. And you also have a unit of ironclad on the ship with you, along with your mixed unit of orcish and dwarven heavy infantry. You can do a lot with that. But we'll see what you do next time. Anything before I stop the recording?
Dragon Ball Z.
Wanna know?
The next time somebody uses a stone, you're going to spend 10 turns charging. Let's go.
Hey! Hey! Fuck you!
Goodbye.
Bye.